Even if you have been feeling insecure about yourself, set it down for a moment, my dear one. Just set it down gently. You do not have to carry that old weight into this morning. You do not have to begin the day by repeating all the reasons you think you are not enough. You do not have to start with comparison, or apology, or tension in the chest, or that old quiet fear that maybe other people deserve good things more easily than you do. Not this morning, because this morning is for worthiness. This morning is for remembrance. This morning is for returning to something that was never truly lost, only forgotten beneath old thoughts, old wounds, old habits of self-doubt. Worthiness is not a reward. It is your birthright. And I want you to let those words settle into your body before your mind tries to argue. Worthiness is not something you earn after enough suffering, after enough proving, after enough achieving, after enough fixing. Worthiness is what you are before the proving begins. So let me ask you something very softly. If today you walked like someone worthy, loved like someone worthy, spoke like someone worthy, chose like someone worthy, where would you stop lowering yourself? Where would you stop shrinking? Where would you stop waiting for permission? I deserve the best, and I accept it now. I am worthy because I exist. Life loves me. So many beautiful people live small, not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack talent, not because they lack goodness, but because they have quietly forgotten their own value. They live as though they must apologize for taking up space. They hesitate before speaking. They settle for less than their hearts truly want. They accept crumbs in love, confusion in relationships, pressure in work, disrespect in conversation, because somewhere inside they still carry the old false belief that they must earn the right to receive better. My dear one, you do not live small because you are incapable. You live small when you forget what you are, and what you are is life itself, expressed in a unique and unrepeatable way. No flower in a garden must prove it deserves sunlight. No morning sky must achieve something before it is allowed to be beautiful. No child must pass a test before it deserves tenderness. Then, why should you? Why should you be the one creature on earth who believes existence is not enough? I am worthy because I exist. Say that slowly in the quiet of your heart. I am worthy because I exist. Again, I am worthy because I exist. My dear one, this is not ego, this is truth. Your value is not hanging from the opinions of others. Your worth is not tied to a number, a title, a relationship, a body shape, a level of productivity, or a mood. Your worth is rooted much deeper than that. It is rooted in the simple, miraculous fact that life is living as you. And because worthiness is a birthright, it does not increase when you achieve and disappear when you struggle. It does not brighten on your best day and fade on your worst day. It does not rise when you are admired and fall when you are misunderstood. It is deeper than performance, deeper than outcome, deeper than image, deeper than the little mental scorecard that keeps trying to measure whether you are good enough yet. My dear one, the scorecard is not sacred. The truth is sacred. The truth is this: there is life in you, there is breath in you, There is awareness in you. There is a heart in you that can feel, learn, heal, and grow. That is enough for worthiness. More than enough. You do not need to become someone else before you are allowed the best. You do not need to hate yourself into becoming more deserving. You do not need to humiliate yourself into humility. You do not need to starve your soul to prove you are modest. You are already worthy of the best that life has to offer, not because you have done everything perfectly, but because love is not a prize for perfection. Love is the environment in which you bloom. That is why speaking worthiness into the morning matters so much. Morning is tender. Morning is receptive. Morning is when the mind has not fully armored itself yet. Morning is when the old judgments have not completely gathered all their evidence. Morning is when the nervous system is listening very carefully to the first emotional tone you offer it. And if the first tone is self-doubt, the day begins with contraction. If the first tone is criticism, the body begins in defense. If the first tone is I'm behind, I'm not enough, I need to do more, I should be more, then the whole day leans in the direction of fear. But if the first tone is worthiness, then something else begins happening. The shoulders drop a little, the breath deepens, the eyes soften, your choices become less desperate, your boundaries become cleaner, your voice becomes steadier. My dear one, you cannot fully live like someone worthy if you begin the day by questioning your own value. That is why these morning declarations are so powerful. They do not merely decorate the mind. They set the tone of the whole inner day. They tell the subconscious, this is the world we are living in now, a world where I am not a beggar for goodness, a world where I belong to it. When I begin the day in worthiness, I move through the day differently. And perhaps that is what you most need to hear this morning. You do not need to become worthy later. You need to remember worthiness now, right now, before the emails, before the opinions, before the tasks, before the comparisons, before the old story wakes up fully and tries to pull you back into smallness. Speak to yourself before the world does. Bless yourself before the day demands anything from you. Let your own voice become the first place where your nervous system hears safety, dignity, value, and permission. That is not selfish. That is healing. That is wise. That is how you stop handing the whole atmosphere of your day over to old conditioning. And now let us move into something so simple and so powerful that many people overlook it because it is simple. Mirror work. My dear one, the way you look at yourself matters. The eyes you turn toward your own face in the morning can either become another form of judgment or become a doorway into healing. When you avoid your own gaze, when you look quickly and critically, when you use the mirror only to inspect flaws, the subconscious learns that even your own eyes are not a safe place to rest. But when you look at yourself with softness, with patience, with presence, with the willingness to stay, then the mirror becomes something sacred. It becomes a place where you stop abandoning yourself. It becomes a place where worthiness is spoken directly into the deeper mind. Because the subconscious listens to repetition, yes, but it also listens to emotional honesty. And your own eyes carry emotional truth. So tomorrow morning, or even later today, stand in front of the mirror, not to fix, not to judge, not to measure, just to meet yourself. Take one slow breath in. Let it go gently. Soften the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Let there be a faint little smile if one comes naturally. Then look into your own eyes and say slowly, I am worthy of the very best today. Again, with softness, I am worthy of the very best today. And once more, as though you are speaking to someone beloved, I am worthy of the very best today. Then stay there. 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Let the eyes remain. Let the body feel what it is like not to run. My dear one, that small staying matters more than you know. Because when you remain with yourself, instead of turning away, you give the subconscious a very different message. You say, I do not have to hide from me. I do not have to apologize for me. I do not have to wait for perfection before I offer myself love. Your eyes upon yourself become permission. And yes, perhaps it may feel awkward at first. Perhaps one part of you will want to laugh or look away or say this is silly or insist that you do not believe it. That is all right. You do not need to force belief. You only need to be willing to practice. Willingness is enough to begin repatterning the morning. Willingness is enough to begin changing the emotional contract of the day. When you keep returning to the mirror with patience, the discomfort softens. The body begins to trust the ritual. The old self-attack loses some of its authority, and the words begin sinking below the surface. They stop sounding like fantasy and start becoming familiar, start becoming possible, start becoming home. So let this morning be the morning of worthiness. Not because everything in your outer life is perfect, but because the truth of your worth has never depended on perfect conditions. Let this morning be the morning you stop negotiating with your own value. Let it be the morning you stop making your heart crawl for the love that is already your birthright. Let it be the morning you walk a little taller, breathe a little deeper, choose a little cleaner, and speak a little kinder, not because the world finally approved of you, but because you remembered what was true before the world had a chance to tell you otherwise. I deserve the best, and I accept it now. I am worthy because I exist. Life loves me. My dear one, begin there, and let the whole day rise from that truth. My dear one, just a little more than yesterday. Open it not with force, not with pressure, not as though you must convince yourself of something unnatural, but as though you are opening a window in a room that has been closed too long. Let some air come in. Let some softness come in. Let some truth come in. Because worthiness is not something you build from nothing. It is something you uncover from beneath years of noise, comparison, fear, self-judgment, family conditioning, and old beliefs that were never truly yours to begin with. You do not need to manufacture your value this morning. You do not need to perform yourself into deservingness. You do not need to stand in front of life with a resume of suffering, hard work, self-denial, and achievement just to prove you may receive something beautiful. My dear one, Worthiness is older than your accomplishments. It is older than your mistakes. It is older than your self-image. It was there before anyone praised you, before anyone criticized you, before you learned to shrink, before you learned to apologize for existing. And because it is older than all of that, it is also deeper. It is still here. It is waiting to be remembered. I deserve the best, and I accept it now. I am worthy because I exist. Life loves me. So when we speak affirmations of worthiness, we are not begging the universe to finally approve of us. We are not trying to talk life into loving us. We are not trying to decorate fear with pretty language while secretly continuing to live as though we are not enough. No, my dear one, we are teaching the subconscious a new home. We are giving the nervous system a new emotional atmosphere. We are interrupting old patterns of lack, proving, apologizing, self-doubt, and self-denial. Repetition matters here, not because the universe is hard of hearing, but because the deeper mind learns through repetition. The body learns through repetition. The old identity was built through repetition too. Someone may have said you were not enough again and again. Or perhaps no one said it directly, but you felt it in silence, in comparison, in the way love was given conditionally, in the way attention was withdrawn, in the way approval had to be earned. My dear one, if old pain was repeated, then healing may also need to be repeated. We repeat not to convince the universe, but to retrain the subconscious. That is why these affirmations matter. That is why you say them slowly. That is why you say them kindly. That is why you return to them morning after morning, not like homework, but like watering something living. And because repetition is so important, I want you to imagine these affirmations as seeds. Some are sealing seeds, the ones you repeat 3 times, because they carry the emotional center of the day. Others are like supporting roots, quieter but still powerful, surrounding the deeper truth with nourishment. So today, let the 3 sealing truths be these. I deserve the best, and I accept it now. I love and approve of myself. I deserve inner peace. Life loves me, and I allow life to bring me the very best experiences. We will return to those like little bells of remembrance. And in between, we will let the other truths open the field of your mind wider and wider, until your worth feels less like an idea and more like a lived atmosphere. So begin with the first and let it be spoken like a doorway. I deserve the best, and I accept it now. I deserve the best, and I accept it now. I deserve the best, and I accept it now. My dear one, notice how important that second half is, and I accept it now. So many people can almost whisper, I deserve something good, but then they quietly close the door with the next breath. They say, but not yet, but not me, but only when I improve, but only when I have done more, but only when I stop being afraid, but only when life finally proves it. And so they stand on the threshold of goodness while continuing to withhold it from themselves. But this affirmation does something bolder and much more healing. It does not merely speak deservingness, it practices receiving. It says, I stop delaying what I already know is mine by birthright. I stop standing outside the blessing while calling myself humble. I stop postponing acceptance. My dear one, you must understand this. Many people do not suffer only because they think they are undeserving. They suffer because they are unwilling to receive what they already long for. So let this sentence begin teaching your whole being that acceptance is safe, that receiving is safe. That good may come near now. Then let this beautiful truth deepen the field. I am worthy of love, not because of what I do, but because of who I am. Say it once and let it land. My dear one, this is one of the great healings because most people learn the opposite. They learn that love was linked to performance, politeness, achievement, beauty, usefulness, self-sacrifice, or emotional convenience. They learned, often very early, that being lovable was something you had to manage. So they became managers of themselves, managers of personality, managers of appearance, managers of other people's comfort, managers of their own visibility. And somewhere in that exhausting inner labor, they forgot the simple truth that love was never meant to be a performance contract. I am worthy of love, not because of what I do, but because of who I am. That sentence gives the body permission to stop auditioning. It gives the heart a place to rest. It says, I do not have to earn tenderness by becoming easier, smaller, prettier, quieter, more productive, more useful, or more perfect. I am already the kind of being who is worthy of love because I exist. My dear one, say that often enough, and one day you stop negotiating with crumbs, and then speak this with quiet strength. I release all need to prove myself to anyone. I know my worth. My dear one, proving is such a tiring religion. It asks you to live as though every room is a test, every conversation is a ranking, every success must justify your existence, and every failure must be hidden before anyone sees it. It is exhausting to live under that law. It makes even joy heavy. It makes work anxious. It makes relationships performative. It makes rest feel undeserved. But when you say, I release all need to prove myself to anyone, I know my worth, something in the spine straightens. Not in hardness, in dignity. You stop living bent toward approval. You stop presenting your heart at a courtroom. You stop using other people's reaction as the final verdict on your value. My dear one, there is a great freedom in no longer asking the world to certify what life has already declared true. You do not need to prove the sun is warm. You do not need to prove that breath is life. And you do not need to prove your worth to the eyes that are themselves still learning how to see. Now let us go deeper into old lineage and inherited limits. I move beyond all limitations of my parents and old beliefs. I create my own brilliant life. This is such a powerful affirmation because many people are still living inside mental rooms they did not build. Beliefs about money, about love, about success, about aging, about the body, about being seen, about safety, about what is too much to want, about what kind of life is allowed for someone like them. And so they keep shrinking their brilliance to fit an inherited emotional house. My dear one, honoring your past does not mean repeating its limitations. Loving your family does not mean living inside their fear. Understanding where you came from does not require becoming imprisoned by it. When you say, "I move beyond all limitations of my parents and old beliefs, I create my own brilliant life," you are not rejecting people. You are rejecting confinement. You are saying, "I may have inherited patterns, but I do not have to worship them. I may have learned fear, but I am now learning freedom. I may have watched others live small, but I do not have to call that safety. That is brave. That is sacred." That is how lineage heals. When one person says yes to more light, then speak this with grounded openness. "I deserve a fulfilling career and an abundant income, and I allow it to find me." My dear one, I love this sentence because it joins worthiness with receptivity, not desperate chasing, not apologetic wanting, not starved begging. I deserve a fulfilling career and an abundant income, and I allow it to find me. Do you feel how different that is from the old frequency of maybe someday, if I am lucky, if I am impressive enough, if the world decides to choose me? No, darling. This sentence says, "I am available to a life that meets me well. I am available to work that does not drain the soul. I am available to income that supports rather than humiliates. I am available to abundance without guilt." So many people unconsciously believe that struggle is more spiritual than support, that under-earning is somehow pure, or that joy and money cannot live in the same room. But your deeper self knows better. Your worth is not diminished by abundance. Your dignity is not threatened by being well supported. My dear one, if life wants to meet you with both meaning and provision, let it. Now let the heart open with this one. My heart is open to receive the miracles that I know I deserve. This is a beautiful sentence because it combines softness with certainty, not arrogance, certainty. The kind that says, "I no longer close the door before grace can reach me." There are so many people whose hearts are full of longing and yet still armored against receiving. They pray for love while distrusting tenderness. They ask for opportunity while bracing against success. They ask for healing while still identifying with pain. But my dear one, an open heart is part of the miracle. My heart is open to receive the miracles that I know I deserve. Let this sentence become like warm light moving through the chest. Let it tell the nervous system, you do not have to stand guard at every doorway anymore. Sometimes the miracle is not that life changes first. Sometimes the miracle is that you finally become willing to let life touch you. And then comes one of the most liberating lines of all. I no longer accept the crumbs of life. I am worthy of wholeness. My dear one, how many people have been taught to call crumbs gratitude? A little affection and a lot of confusion. A little pay and a lot of exhaustion. A little respect and a lot of dismissal. A little peace and a lot of emotional chaos. And they make themselves small enough to call that enough because somewhere inside they still fear that asking for wholeness is asking for too much. But it is not too much. It is the natural desire of a soul that is tired of partial living. I no longer accept the crumbs of life. I am worthy of wholeness. That sentence is a boundary. That sentence is self-respect. That sentence is the end of little inner negotiations, where you talk yourself into staying where your spirit is shrinking. Wholeness is not greed. Wholeness is alignment. It is the willingness to receive what nourishes the whole of you instead of merely feeding your fear of being left with nothing. Then let this settle into your deeper trust. Everything I need is supplied in divine right timing, for I am a precious child of the universe. My dear one, there is something so tender in calling yourself a precious child of the universe. Not childish, childlike in the holiest sense, held, belonging, worth caring for, worth guiding, worth feeding, worth timing, worth protecting. This affirmation frees you from the frantic belief that you must fight time itself in order to be safe. It reminds you that supply is not only money. Supply is guidance, timing, people, energy, openings, intuition, redirection, courage, and rest. Everything I need is supplied in divine right timing, for I am a precious child of the universe. Say that enough, and your body begins to loosen around urgency. The heart stops feeling so orphaned. The mind stops insisting that delayed means denied. My dear one, divine right timing is not punishment. It is alignment without panic. Now let us return to one of the sealing truths and let it go even deeper this time. I love and approve of myself. I deserve inner peace. I love and approve of myself. I deserve inner peace. I love and approve of myself. I deserve inner peace. My dear one, inner peace is not a luxury for people who have done everything right. It is not an indulgence. It is not something you get after your entire personality is corrected. It is something you deserve now. When you love and approve of yourself, you stop creating internal war. And when the war ends, peace becomes possible. This is why self-approval is so powerful, not because it inflates the ego, because it ends the attack. It ends the constant inner tribunal. It ends the exhausting habit of turning every moment into another reason you should be doing better. Peace is not earned through perfection. It is allowed through love. And now the final sealing affirmation, like a blessing over the whole field. Life loves me, and I allow life to bring me the very best experiences. Life loves me, and I allow life to bring me the very best experiences. Life loves me, and I allow life to bring me the very best experiences. My dear one, this is such a beautiful place to end because it takes you out of struggle and into relationship, not life as an enemy, not life as a test only, not life as an indifferent machine. Life as something responsive, kind, creative, guiding, and loving. And then the second part matters just as much. I allow life to bring me the very best experiences. Because many people say they want the best, but inwardly they still brace for disappointment. They still expect less. They still identify with lack. They still suspect goodness when it comes near. But this sentence opens the door. It says, I do not only want the best in theory, I allow it. I welcome it. I stop shrinking from it. That, my dear one, is how worthiness becomes lived. So if you take anything from this section, let it be this: repetition is not for the universe. Repetition is for the subconscious. It is for the nervous system. It is for the old self-image. It is for the heart that forgot. Say these words not like a test, but like nourishment. Say them in the mirror. Say them while getting dressed. Say them before the day gets loud. Say them until they begin to feel less like wishes and more like truth, because they are truth. Not truth that starts existing when you finally believe it, truth that has been waiting patiently underneath your doubt. And so let us gather them one more time into one slow stream of worthiness. I deserve the best, and I accept it now. I am worthy of love, not because of what I do, but because of who I am. I release all need to prove myself to anyone. I know my worth. I move beyond all limitations of my parents and old beliefs. I create my own brilliant life. I deserve a fulfilling career and an abundant income, and I allow it to find me. My heart is open to receive the miracles that I know I deserve. I no longer accept the crumbs of life. I am worthy of wholeness. Everything I need is supplied in divine right timing, for I am a precious child of the universe. I love and approve of myself. I deserve inner peace. Life loves me, and I allow life to bring me the very best experiences. My dear one, speak worthiness into your day, and the day will begin listening. As you carry these words into the rest of your day, remember this gently. When you speak worthiness into your heart, you begin changing the whole field of your life. You soften the background energy of fear and make room for something steadier, warmer, and more open. You stop asking the world for permission to exist, and that alone changes how you walk, how you choose, how you receive, and how life responds to you. When you know you are worthy, your mind begins noticing different things. It sees opportunities where it once saw limits. It sees kind people where it once expected disappointment. It sees solutions where it once predicted failure. My dear one, you really do begin to see what you allow yourself to see. And from that new inner permission, your small daily behaviors begin to change. You say yes to what nourishes you. You say no to what diminishes you. You care for your body more lovingly. You stop accepting crumbs. You stop calling self-abandonment humility. You stop pulling away when life brings something good. That is how life begins to change, not only through miracles outside you, but through the quiet changes inside you. Your standards rise. Your energy clears. Your choices become cleaner. And little by little, you stop fearing good things. You stop distrusting ease. You begin to feel more at home in love, support, peace, and abundance. And remember this, my dear one, attracting the best does not mean taking what belongs to someone else. It means becoming aligned with what truly belongs to you. The best for you is what helps you grow, what nourishes your spirit, what supports your peace, and what allows you to become more fully yourself. So, go into this day with softness and quiet certainty. I deserve the best, and I accept it now. I am worthy because I exist. Life loves me. May your morning be gentle, your heart be open, and your whole day be blessed with the good that is already finding its way to you.